No, you are not misreading that title. I received an early access review copy of The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Aonumasan's team recently reached out to my social media representative and requested that I take a look at their newest and most ambitious project to date. So without further ado, let's just dive into it, shall we? Welcome to Dreamland, a kingdom famous for peace and quiet. Until Johnny arrived.
April Fool's, bitch!
This is actually just my last two videos put together. Grandma's Knitting Adventure is a brand new dementia role-playing game developed by HAL 9000's Map of the Soul 7, with the intention of causing mass infidelity amongst the male populace. That's right, bucko. We're kicking off this year by going back to our roots with a fucking turn-based embroidery simulator. Is now a good time to talk about today's sponsor? In this game, our favorite bleached nipple returns to battle a Mexican stereotype on behalf of the Trump administration, as he journeys through 7 handcrafted artesian worlds in an effort to slay their tyrannical overlords and stitch the planet back together like your parents' broken marriage. Watching this video will be the ultimate test of your patience, but editing this video will be the ultimate test of my masculinity. The first thing I want to touch upon here is the game's weaknesses. Clearly, the word epic in its title is in reference to its extreme difficulty. See, what this game lacks in challenge and excitement, it makes up for with an aesthetic so charming you'll practically be paying for it to go on dates with other men. Like the boards of the second Mario Party, each world is denoted by the suffix land, implying high rates of tourism and a complete lack of creativity on behalf of the developers. But in reality, each of them is filled to the brim with personality, just like my favorite TV series, Rick and Morty.
Stop being such a tease, you sweet little...
There's a villa comprised of instrumental platforms, a winter wonderland of holiday spirit, and even a jungle gym of fucking prehistoric lizards. The art design here is so meticulous and pleasing, from the cotton balls of algae and snow to the bandages literally holding the stages together. This game doesn't exactly stimulate my fingers, but it certainly tickles my monkey brain. On the other hand, this game's small cast of insipid kitten fodder is mired by its sheer unremarkability, with the exception of one of my favorite characters in the franchise. Prince Fluff is such a charming, handsome fellow. How in the Ohio Kirby was this absolute dickhead not an Echo Fighter in Smash Ultimate? The people have spoken! There's a reason you can wear his face on your head in the 3DS hit sensation Street Past Me Plaza. In this game, you fight Grandma's sleep paralysis demons in the form of sentient crochet abominations, ranging from a grape Kool-Aid eel to a lemonade duck man to a giant fire serpent. You know, I had one of those this morning after taking home that girl from the club last night. But if you're feeling a bit suspicious, you might be biased towards the Slobber Frog, as they've clearly been affected by the chemicals in the water.
I'm gay!
Since we're no longer in Dreamland, Waddle-Doos and Tweedle-Dees are replaced by Yarn Soldiers and their various subtypes. My favorite has to be the Bobber Clawed, because unlike me, they have the courage to go to the beach despite having a giant horn growing out of their head. But one important question still remains. What's the difference between an Octopea and a Garbanzo bean? Unlike other entries in the franchise where you obtain elemental abilities and drown your son, Yarn Kirby possesses the ability to transform into vehicles and animals, much like the children of today. These range from a tank engine to a sexual predator to a weapon of mass destruction. It's hard to pick my favorite when you can literally play as an extraterrestrial spacecraft designed to abduct the bovine, as well as Antarctica's very own actual cannibal Cody Maverick Shia LaBeouf. And you guys know how much I love penguins. One might even call me Mr. Popper because of how much I love penguins. And because you can't fly or feast upon the British like in other entries, this game is more focused on exploration. Every level in this game, except for this weird papercraft one, contains 2 pieces of collectible furniture and a singular vinyl record to play in your Minecraft jukebox. Now you might be thinking, Johnny Cordelia? What is a girl like me to do with an anemone sofa? And no, you do not eat it. Instead, you'll use mushroom lamps, camel pillows, and Bronto slides to decorate Kirby's 1-bedroom apartment like you have a green diamond over your head because it's the fucking Sims. That's right, boys. This motherfucker pays rent and you can't even buy your girl a Kurila dressed as a cow? My personal favorite would have to be the King's Throne, however, as it's where you'd be sitting if you got some bitches. The music in this game is beautiful because it makes me feel like I am the girl in the stock photo. Whether it's the youthful ditty of a kindergarten playpen in Toy Tracks, the jaunty progression of an abandoned pirate ship in Secret Island, or the ethereal twinkles of the shoot-'em-up meteor shower in Outer Rings, you can't help but feel like a small little tiny child while playing this game. There are 43 levels in this game, and each of them has its own lo-fi hip-hop beat to study and eat ass to. Like the nap-inducing kalimba strokes of Kirby's pad, goddammit! There is something just so magical about running around as a pink piece of shit while Free Dare Eek Chopin goes bananas on the keyboard. Well, the bosses in this game would make for some excellent scout badges. All of them are painfully underwhelming and easy to conquer. You have your hassle-hopping horror magazine Wyvern, your buffalo chicken wing interview Phoenix, and of course your dapper kamikaze street magician Gord. My favorite would have to be the colossal Inkling because you get to unravel its brain like the spaghetti that it is. How did they waste such a unique design of a final boss on a shitty boss rush and a tank butt segment that's as stimulating as the combat in the Arkham franchise? I think what I'm trying to say with this review is that games don't have to be difficult to be fun. Just look at Cuphead or Hollow Knight. Gamers who enjoy lighthearted adventures with low stakes because they don't have the fucking blood pressure to deal with Melania or the Mike Tyson fight are just as valid, if not healthier, than all of you anxiety-ridden glory fiends with your coronary artery disease. Like Abzu or Animal Crossing, this is a game for the mellow and soft soul. And because of its simplicity, its co-op mode is the ideal experience to play with a partner who is new to gaming. Like that pegging girlfriend that I mentioned in my Stardew video. If I had to rank this game on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it tuberculosis. But if I had to rank you on a scale of cringe or based, I'd say that it's all dependent on your interest in that subscribe button. Two can chew? No. It takes two. Now that's the kind of game I like to play. Two Can Jew is a brand new tactical relationship therapy session and the hit sequel to the SNES classic It Takes One. Developed by an unhinged psychopath, this game was made with the intention of granting you the skills to touch grass and talk to women. In it, you control Cody and May, an interracial couple on the cusp of separation who body swap with a pair of Bratz dolls and must fall in love again to reclaim their human husks. When I first watched the announcement trailer for this game, I asked myself, how can this man make a game about love if all he knows is turmoil? And when Joseph Fares declared that its epic radness would put his last project to shame, I simply didn't believe it. How can a game be better than the winner of the 2018, 2019, and 2020 Game of the Year award? On this day, nearly 1800 years ago, a mysterious saint married the citizens of Rome against the wishes of their prudent tyrannical emperor. So what better way to celebrate a maidenless Black History Month than to continue our trend of textile art reviews with a tragicomedy divorce procedural starring Pickle P from Dark Souls 3. When you first boot up this game, the out-of-sync lip movement and soulless staring into the abyss join forces to create an uncanny experience that rivals even the most vile horror games. But as soon as we take control of the dolls, this game goes from a telltale nightmare to a visual masterpiece.
Dear God, it's beautiful.
This miniature wonderland is so vibrant in detail, with the lighting of every texture so accurate you can practically feel them coming out of your television. That's right, kids. If you have sensory issues, this game will kill you. This expedition will take you everywhere, from a perilous tool shed of puzzling mechanisms to a garden infested with the Great Calamity and Stump Smash Skylanders, to a war-torn Croatia fighting for independence from the Socialist Federal Republic of Yugoslavia. Just look at how far we've come from the pre-rendered backgrounds of games like Super Garry's Mod 64. I especially love the part where you find yourself in a dimly lit cave with glow-in-the-dark paintings that depict the history of the Squirrel Tribe, and then get to ride a Studio Ghibli-ass spirit whale through a spooky cavern of spectral red vines. Whether it's the wistful resonance of a child's toy room or the mystical glow of a Niveus village, this game really knows how to set the stage for a journey that's as memorable as that time I played Hogwarts Legacy and Joe Biden called me a transphobic neo-Nazi bitch and Ku Klux Klan supporter who should be bound to a rock as an eagle eats my liver for all of eternity. In this game, you'll battle 12 raggedy-ass weeaboos which range from a giant cyborg wasp with a flamethrower anus, to an octopus pirate who throws dynamite-strapped rubber duckies at you, to a rather attractive plant lady who wants to turn you into a goddamn tomato. I know country girls make do, but goddamn, if that's how it's done, then sign me up to become a 6-inch spud. There's also a toolbox, and a shield wasp, and a moon baboon? You've got to be euthanizing my father and castrating my son. They sent a monkey to space? The bosses in this game are dynamic, intuitive, challenging, and charismatic, forcing the players to work together just like the Viet Cong.
Mother love me long time, sucky, sucky, fucky, fucky, one ton, Hong Kong.
Sometimes you're luring a stag beetle into a pile of explosive honey. Other times you're flinging aerosol cans at a vacuum buckster and then sucking its eyeballs out. Sometimes you're laying waste to a variety of chess pieces like the Queen's Gambit. Other times you're surviving the onslaught of a sentient clock that can rewind time, just like Mindy Kaling did with that new piece of shit Velma show. But if I suspend nostalgia temporarily, these bitches put every classic Nintendo game's big bad catalog to shame. My only critique is that the concluding chapter lacks a final boss, which makes the ending feel a bit spontaneous. That's if you don't count the evil fucking disco ball segment that makes me want to yank out my vast deferens and feed them to mundfish for marketing Russian propaganda as a sci-fi adventure game. Instead of collectible blue coins or puzzle pieces, this platformer features hidden one-on-one challenges that you can play with your partner to assert dominance and arouse their submissive instincts, which often pay tribute to some of the greatest advancements in gaming history. From Hungry Hungry Hippos to Dance Dance Revolution, and even Mario Party's Tread Carefully, my favorite has to be Plunger Dunger, as it's clearly a throwback to the wildly successful Rayman Raving Rabbids trilogy from that Project Revolution coming out in a few years. Then you have your classics like Whack-A-Mole, Tug of War, and Rodeo. You know, the ones they teach you in sexual education. And of course some Olympic winter games like ice skating, snowball fighting, and curling. Not all of them are equally enjoyable, but they're still a cute addition that diversifies the gameplay and allows the players to take a break from the main campaign and relax for a while. Maybe have a hot cocoa. Give your homie a blow-blow. Since this game's focus is mainly on puzzle solving, friends and foes are often reserved for specific segments and can be somewhat sparse. It isn't until an hour into the game that we get to treat the inside of a tree like an American high school. In our adventure, we'll survive a giant anglerfish, a horde of voracious moles, Metroidvanian onion pea hats, a den of serpentine microphones, and a legion of rat bastard mouse demons. On the benevolent contrary, we'll meet an oddly sensual hammer, a flamboyant jack-in-the-box, and an elephant plush that we get to torture and dismember as it pleads for its life.
What the fuck?
This is horrible! I feel so evil!
I'll need therapy after this.
But none of that matters when you acknowledge the performance of Joseph Futurama as the Book of Love, Dr. Hakeem Optical, the Hispanic stereotype of a Hallmark card whose unique blend of Darman platitudes and Nickelodeon dad humor lends the game its amusing personality and principled charm. Like an emotionally abusive femcel at a Deftones concert, the music in this game doesn't always stand out. But no matter the genre, it consistently captures the emotion and vibe of the setting that it's played in. Deeply Rooted simulates an underground kingdom with its echo-droning blips. The chessboard mimics a frantic medieval battle with its winding harpsichord. And Warming Up carries your soul up to the heavens with its transcendental chimes. This game's soundtrack will grace you with a tranquil melody of tribal drums and violins, and then immediately follow it up with an electrifying cyberpunk techno jam for the love of Camilla and all that is emblem. But y'all didn't come here to hear me talk about those pieces of shit. Jukebox Memories. This is the standout track of the game. The chunky bass, the angelic ad-libs, the creamy organ fills. Every element of this song comes together to form an unforgettable megazord of smooth jazz that makes you feel like a greasy mobster smoking a big fat cigar in an underground pub that the white guys on TikTok seem to think they are. Playing this game makes you feel like a kid in a candy store, except instead of Starburst and Skittles, they're serving up crack cocaine and BBWs.
Excuse me, I was just looking you over and I had a question. Are those highlights in your hair or potato chips?
Everything that can possibly be done in a video game can be done here. From rail sliding, to wall jumping, to bug riding, to tub thumping.
I get knocked down, but I get up again.
Sometimes May can walk on walls to manipulate out-of-reach objects, while Cody can manually shrink and grow to crawl up your butthole like Ant-Man. Other times, May can clone herself to hold down multiple buttons at once, while Cody can manipulate time to fix and break things. New ideas are constantly being salami slapped in your face with every level. Just like with naked women on Instagram after the aliens changed their policy to replace our memes with titties. To the benefit of the plot, each set of abilities is complementary, which forces the former lovers to reluctantly use teamwork while unintentionally restoring the connection they once had. The passion and creativity here is so abundantly clear that it cured my dog's colorblindness, so she can now tell the difference between the good people and the bad. It Takes Two is as much an innovation to gaming's present as it is a love letter to gaming's past, and is packed with Easter eggs of some of the largest franchises in the world, including Mario Kart, The Legend of Zelda, Street Fighter, and even Plants vs. Zombies. One minute you're playing Gears of War, the next minute it's Diablo 4. One minute it's a breeding kink, the next minute it's countless sleepless nights from your wailing infant. In terms of variety, this is possibly one of the greatest games of all time, which is probably why its director wanted it to win a Guinness World Record for the most mechanics in a single game. What's next? Trademark the number 2? But in terms of story, challenge, and visuals, it's still really fucking good. It's a tale as old as time, but delivered in such a captivating manner that you're reminded how even in a world of Sigma males, pick-me girls, and furry artists with a higher income than most medical professionals, romance is still alive and well. But if you'd like to know the numerical rating that I gave this game, you're gonna have to subscribe to my OnlyFans.